I grew up in Hungary. We had a house, but we did not have water. We did not have a toilet inside the house. And when we had to have some water, we had to carry big containers to the neighborhood, down the street, and carry at home. And even when I was a little child, 6, 8 years old, I already had to start to carry these heavy containers home. We did not have money, not because of my mother or father did not work. They work really hard, but they spent all the money for alcohol. They were alcoholic. And they lost the money sometimes at the pub, or sometimes somebody just stolen from them. But the fact, most of the time we had no money. When I became a teenager, we had nothing at home to eat really. So most of the time we were eating like potatoes, or yeah, potatoes was like a daily thing what we could eat, or rice. And that was a really big day when we had bologna at home. So that was like a Christmas. And I still remember when we time to time had some chicken. I don't know where they come from. Where we were a little kid, like little kid, my mother and father had some chicken and pig, but after a while, when they were absolutely down and they were drinking every single day, they didn't really care about anything anymore. So we did not have pigs or chicken anymore. But that day, I remember I was super hungry, and we did not have a fridge, and we had a really messy house. My mother didn't clean, and the mess all around the house, and if something fell on the floor, that stood there for long period of time. And I didn't know it better because that was natural for me. We lived always this way, so this is how it is. And I couldn't really see other people house. Maybe time to time when I went to the neighbors, or my mother sent us to the neighbors, yeah, I saw a little part of the house, but that's all. And I remember when I was super hungry, and I found on a kitchen table a plate with a chicken back that was quite old, a couple of days old, and a little meat what left on, and the skin was already dried on this chicken back and was just really bone. But I was so hungry, so I started to um, tear this skin off and try to eat it. I ate it anyway, and that was really a low point, I think. I was in a situation when I didn't know how to handle the situation. And the worst thing was my mother and father always sent us to the neighbors to ask for money. And I knew that when we went to the neighbors, they sent us because we were kids, and maybe they felt pity for us, and they just gave some money because of we went there, and they wouldn't give to my mother or father if they show up drunk. And I hated that. I remember we were poor, but I hated that. I rather to eat just potatoes or rice or nothing than go to the neighbor and ask for money. So that experience for me was terrible. And when we went to the neighbors to ask for money, we went there because my mother threatened us if we don't do that. She will beat us up, or said really bad things. And I remember one day my neighbor, she was an elderly woman. She worked in a grocery store at the cashier, and she was really sweet, but they couldn't help really us. They sometimes gave some money, but this is it. They couldn't save us, they couldn't really be with us or protect us. But this lady one day said, "My little daughter, remember for what I'm telling to you." She said, "When you will work later on, remember to put away some money every single month. Even if you have $1 in your pocket, end of the month, before you get the next salary, that means you never will be broke. This is what she said. That was her view about money, because she knew that if I could save up at least $1, then I don't need to go to the neighbors and asking for money. That means I somehow, even if it's just paycheck to paycheck, I live paycheck to paycheck, but I didn't need to ask money and I didn't need to have a credit. And that was a life-changing teaching from her. Of course, this happened back then, 30 plus years ago, and she didn't know it better, but at least that really saved my life and really helped me to start in life. Maybe she didn't tell my sister, I'm not sure, but she is in debt, and all in my family members were always in debt, and they asking money, and they cannot even pay back. They couldn't pay back. But I was the first person in my family who never ever had a credit card or never ever asked money from anyone else. When I was 17, I left home. I started working, and I knew doesn't matter what, I will work and I stand on my feet. I don't need money from anyone else. I really appreciated this advice because this helped me. Now I'm 44 years old and I never ever was in debt. Now I'm in the United States, so I have a credit card, but only because I have to build my credit score. And still, when I pay with my credit card, I immediately pay it off with my debit card. I handle my credit card like a debit card, and I never ever ask for money. I never have anything that buy if I don't have money for it. I learned from my neighbor, that sweet neighbor. She called Margaret. She was a really small, maybe 5 feet tall lady, and she was absolutely sweet and helpful. And she didn't even know what she did, taught me what she did in my life. And now it's too late. She already died, and I never could talk to her and tell her how grateful I was for her. So this was my life-changing story, because if it wasn't her, I would be in debt as my sister or my other family members. Thank you, Margaret, and thank you for listening to my videos, and see you next time. Bye-bye.